Hey there guys, and welcome to the next time lapse here on the channel. Going to be making a Powerpuff Girl time lapse, and we're going to be doing the character Buttercup for this video. I decided to make the background a checker pattern, which you see me lining up right now. Usually it takes 5 strips to cover up an entire piece of canvas, but since I had to line this one up a little bit, it's actually going to take 6, and I had to cut a separate one there and then wrap it around the back like that. So it's going to be a really cool background because if you apply it evenly like I did, it makes it look really nice. So we're going to work on the character's head first. So I'm going to need a decent amount of black tape for that. So you see the whole cutout. That's the whole image that we're going to be making. So first things first, have to cut out the head piece, and then we'll work on the bottom part of the body second. And I'm going to leave that piece not cut right there, and then we'll work on that pretty soon. Whenever you're working on something like this, you always want to trace out the entire outline first, because this character specifically, this kind of design, will be using a lot of layering decoration. So you always want to get the whole background and then work from there and just kind of apply them to make it a giant layer. Kind of like a giant sticker. So now we're going to work on cutting out the head, just doing a little bit of trimming. Then I'm going to peel the whole thing up and find out where to stick it on the checker background on the canvas. So just get an idea of where to stick it. I'm going to stick that down right there. Smooth that out a little bit. Now we're going to work on the bottom part of the body, and I'm just going to attach that right to the headpiece. So I'm going to cut that out next. Most of the smaller pieces I don't actually use packaging tape for, mostly because I'm going to be cutting out a lot of things that are on that piece, like the green and the white for her outfit and her hands and feet. So you don't want to put too many spots of packaging tape on, because those are only going to work against you when you have to keep using packaging tape. So it's just going to make the surface that much more thicker and harder to cut through. So now we're going to work on cutting out the white pieces first. And these are going to be fairly simple, and then we're going to work on the green pieces second. And I decided to use the lime green instead of the dark green. I think it makes a much better contrast than the dark green. So I'll work on that. It actually split in half there, but I'm just going to have to live with that and work on it when we do cut out the green pieces pretty soon. So finding out where that goes and then applying it to the sheet there to make the design. Now we're going to work on her pants and the outfit that she's wearing out of the green tape. And like I said, I kind of have to arrange it so that it kind of evens up on there, so I know exactly where to cut. It is still kind of hard to tell where it ends and begins, because it did rip on kind of an awkward angle, but sometimes that happens and you have to work with it. And with the time lapse, I'm trying to get it done as fast as I can, because you guys are trying to work. I know you guys are expecting it about this time, so decided to just go with it. So we're going to apply all those pieces. Now we're going to start working on the images that are part of the head next. So we're going to work on, the left hand, and then her right hand. I'm going to use the beige tape for that. And I know you guys give me a lot of good suggestions for time lapses, so if you guys have something that you want to see, definitely leave a comment or something like that below. Just some requirements. Most of the time with time lapses, I try to go for designs that aren't totally complicated, but at the same time aren't really simple as well. So because it does take time to make a design like this, and this video is about 6 minutes long. The more complex ones take about 9 or 10 minutes, and that's about 40 minutes without it being sped up. So you kind of have to come to a consensus of which is too complex but which is too simple at the same time. So got to come to a kind of a compromise between the two. So if you guys do have a whole bunch of designs that you want me to do, just leave a comment below. But remember I said try to make it a little bit complex, but also at the same time not totally simple, if you guys want to see something. And that would just increase the likelihood that I'll be able to do it on the time lapse. Alright, so now we're going to work on the part of the face first. I worked on the top part, and I could have worked on it as one giant piece, but there's a lot of little pieces in between, and it would just make more sense just to cut it out into 2 different pieces and then just assemble them together. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I got that piece there, and I need to know exactly where to stick it. I'm going to put it right about there. As you can see, it's pretty much exactly the same effect, even though I didn't cut it out in 2 separate pieces. So I do that a lot when I'm working on giant pieces of tape for paintings and stuff like that. So now we're going to work on the eyelashes here, or part of the eye, which is the green part. Whenever a color is bordering another color, like you see the white in the left corner of the screen, it's actually bordering the green, you want to cut them roughly exactly the same. And if you're trying to go as close to the paper as possible, you definitely want to do that, because if you cut them out exactly like the paper, they're going to fit together just like they do on paper. If you don't, then you might have to overlap a little bit, and you kind of just have to work with it from there. So at this point, I'm going to work on the white part first. That's the outside layer. And I'm just going to very carefully apply this in kind of a line as best as I can make it. And then we're going to take the green piece and we're going to border that onto the white piece. So right about there. And that's the outline for her right eye. Now we're going to work on actually cutting out her right eye, which is fairly simple, fairly straightforward. And that line at the top is kind of a guideline to where her hair is, where her hairline is. So I use that paper piece to know exactly where to stick it. And we're going to work on her left eye and then stick that on. Can't remember if I stuck it on right now. Yeah, I guess I did. Okay. That's right, and I used the paper image to know exactly where to stick that one. So now we're going to work on the left eye portion of it, and just cutting out the green piece there and then the white piece. So yeah, like I said, if you guys have an idea of what you want me to do for time lapses, definitely leave a comment below. We're getting towards the end of this time lapse. Hopefully you guys check out Collections Volume 16, which was posted just before this video. A lot of great stuff in that video, just like there are in a lot of my collections volumes. So now applying the eye piece and then the white piece, and we have one more tiny little thing to add to this, and that's her smirk. So we're going to cut that out now, and then that's going to be the end of the time lapse here. So working on that gave me a little bit of trouble, so I had to do a little bit of modifying, making it look a little more pointed. It's kind of like a sassy smirk. So there you guys have it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the time lapse. I'll catch you next time on the channel. Check out Collections Volume 16, which is live right now.